this is Kristen, and we are taking the fan questions off of the PPG Refinish Facebook page. Some of you guys wrote in, you had some questions for Charlie that you wanted to ask him. We promised you we'd get them, and we'd get them on tape. So, Charlie, we had a list of questions. The first question we had was, what's your next big project?
Well, right now in the shop, we're doing a 37 Ford slantback sedan. It's all coming together now, so it's all painted.
Yeah.
It's just assembly process now. We also have a 41 Packard convertible, which is really cool because it's different.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, doing the hot rod thing, you know, you do a ton of 32s and you do a lot of muscle car stuff. So when you get something that's out of the ordinary like a Packard, that's kind of gets you amped up a little bit.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we've got that one, and then we've got a 53 Chevy pickup online. So lots of stuff to keep me. Yeah, a lot of stuff to keep me off the streets, keep me out of trouble. So.
And it's getting cold, so keep you in the shop where it's warm a little bit right now.
That's right. That's right. Well, it's funny because it's like a buddy of mine, Troy Trepanier, always tells me, you know, it seems like when he has a project, he brings me back in the winter. It's like, dude, I hate winter. I hate cold weather.
Yeah.
He says it's always 75 degrees year round inside the
Inside
shop.
the
So
shop. Yeah, that's
so
true.
yeah,
But
so keep me inside.
He's outside of Chicago, and I don't think there's a colder place on the planet than Chicago.
No.
It just seems colder when you land. The wind or something, you're just like, oh my.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, do you people realize there's warmer places to live? So.
And there's so many corporate headquarters there, and you realize, you know, that's what you want to ask them. Why aren't corporate headquarters in like Florida? Or,
yeah, exactly.
That's where I want to go.
Exactly.
So the next question we had on the website was, how did you get your start?
Well, what's funny is I guess my first start was painting my Hot Wheels. As a little kid, you know, I had two older sisters and had plenty of fingernail polish around the house to dig into. So I actually just loved cars. You know, I started when I was just a little guy, just started painting my Hot Wheels, and then started putting models together. And it was really neat because my father was actually chairman of the school board, the school I went to, which turned out to be a good thing when I went to graduate. But seriously, one of the board members owned a body shop. And so when I was 13, you know, my biggest thing is I wanted to build hot rods. You know, and I was able to talk him into letting me get into the shop, sweep floors. So I'd ride my bicycle over and sweeping floors. First week I was there, it was like, I want to paint, I want to paint, I want to paint. And they had we're out in the country, and he had a lot of friends that had ranches and stuff, and it was coming into the fall, so one of the ranchers brought in a feed truck. That was my first paint job, was an old feed truck. And, you know, the shop owner said, you know, hey, you want to paint so bad, kid, paint that. Yeah. And so I did it, and he was blown away that, you know, I guess I had it. So I've got paint thinner running through my veins instead of blood.
You know, I think I tell people my mom literally, I think, went into labor in the paint booth. And she was trying to drag Dad out to get us, you know, to get us down the road. But my first painting was pots and pans. We had a pot and pan manufacturer just down the road in Jacksonville, Arkansas, and they would bring in pans and want to try different color lines for testing with their, I guess, some sort of market survey. So they go, paint this one yellow and paint this one green, you know, back in the 70s when those yellows and greens were popular. Yeah. And then paint this one orange. And so I used to paint pots and pans, and I thought that was the coolest thing on the planet.
That is cool. That is cool.
So the next question we had was, when did you know you had made it, or when did you feel like you had made it?
You know, for me, when I started doing it, it was just that whole passion thing. You know, I was very fortunate, like I had mentioned before, about, you know, with the shop owner letting me, you know, be there and paint. You know, I finally became his full-time painter. Well, he eventually turned the shop over to me, you know, and at the time, you know, the dream of doing the hot rod thing was there. It's just that I didn't have the clientele to allow me to do that. You know, we'd get people come in, and when they would meet me and see how young I was, it was like, no, I'm going to take it to so-and-so. They've been doing it as long as you've been alive. You know, and we finally had, you know, my Snap-on dealer gave me the first opportunity to do a hot rod, you know, do an old car. And once we had done it, it just kind of progressed from there. And then the day I guess I realized I made it, we had a very fortunate customer of ours that allowed us to do a 33 three-window coupe, Ford three-window coupe. And what we did is Boyd Coddington had built a 33 Roadster highboy for Michael Anthony, the bassist for Van Halen. Black flamed car. Well, as a kid, you know, always looking in the magazines, you know, I love to, you know, always tape out flames, and so basically I built a 33 full fendered three-window coupe version, so big brother of that car that Boyd had built, for a guy out of Fallbrook, California, and Boyd had seen it. And I got a phone call one day from Boyd, and I didn't believe it was him. It was like, all right, who's pulling my leg here? You know, but exactly, you know, and it was at that point that I realized that, wow, this is a real deal. You know, and he bought me an airline ticket, and I flew down to meet him, and I guess, as they say, the rest is history. He gave me a wonderful opportunity. So.
Hey, he's so amazing, and I think he's one of
Yeah.
the people I miss the most because
Yeah.
the first time I met him, I wanted to talk about Shazam and some things that had changed my life as a kid, and he wanted to talk about collision repair.
Yeah.
And his old days of being like a body man and what
Yeah.
it was like to still be in the body shop now and dealing with insurance companies. I was like, really?
Yeah, that's-
Boyd wants to talk to me about insurance companies.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
it was
That
kinda
is
neat.
cool.
And then the last thing that we had from a fan on the Facebook page was, what's any memorable cars? Do you have a favorite that you've done? Anything stand out?
My favorite one's always the next one.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is you're always striving to get better and better. You know, and every project is an exciting project, and it's always better than the next one. You know what I mean? It's always better than the last one you did. So my favorite's always the next one we're doing. So because they're all favorite, and you put so much of yourself into each car. You know, and so when you see it leave, it's almost like, you know, one of your kids.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Sending it off to college.
Exactly. Yeah.
Please
yeah.
don't come back.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You keep your fingers crossed it doesn't come back
have no more
for
money.
some repairs, but.
We'll bring it back in.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time. I know
You bet.
that we've got some weather coming in and everybody's trying
Yeah.
to get out of here. Don't forget to go on to Facebook, join the PPG Refinish page, and every time that PPG's out or we're out, you're going to
Yeah.
have a chance to mix with with Charlie on
Yep.
some events, ask him some questions.
Yep.
Whatever you got, post them up there, and we will get your questions answered. And if we pick a few of your questions, we're going to send you out a few specialty PPG gifts and some posters. So thanks, and we'll see you back later to close out the show.
Thank you.